Good morning and welcome to Hangout at Dome with Her World. So we are going live today in conjunction with Embrace Autism event at the Intermark Mall, supported by Dome Cafe Malaysia and Early Autism Project. Actually, sorry, it's organized by Dome Cafe Malaysia and it is supported by Early Autism Project as well as the Hope Project. I think I got that right. So, on my panel today, I have really important people with me, but before I start, I just want to explain a little bit about Embrace Autism. This is the second year the event is being held, and the main intention for the event is to focus on parenting children with autism. So we understand that autism awareness is growing in Malaysia, but there was a need to focus on how parents handle the situation, and I think when Dome Cafe came up with the idea to organize this, their focus was to highlight parenting of children with autism. So on my far right is Head of Marketing of Dome Cafe Malaysia, Puan Noraza. Puan Noraza is also a mother of an autistic child. Which way? I might be wrong. Maybe I'll get Joe to correct me. Yeah, maybe Joe has to correct my, a child with autism. Sorry, my bad. And we have Jochebed, who is the director of Early Autism Project Malaysia. And here, special guest, artist and glass sculptor, Encik Raja Azhar, who is so kind to be sharing his paintings. He's auctioning his paintings here at the Intermark Bazaar for the whole project.
Yes, yeah. And also I'm teaching the autism students a lot. Yes.
Raja Azhar is also
for the past 12 years.
Children with autism through art. Through art. So thank you so much for being on my panel. I usually don't make it so serious because we are usually hanging out. But today we are kind of like on a stage in the middle of Intermark Mall, so I think I have to behave myself a bit. Maybe let's start with Joe first. I think because Joe is the expert here. So the topic today is the evolution of autism awareness in Malaysia. I think personally, I've seen autism awareness grow within the last few years. There is a lot more talk, there is a lot more sharing. I think also our Deputy Women's and Family, I don't know, the title is very long, KWPKM, something like that. Sorry, Hanayo. But Hanayo mentioned yesterday that 5 different ministries are committed to assist autism awareness. So from, I think there was mention of from the police department, from the education department, the women's ministry as well, and I think the health ministry as well will all contribute to the awareness of autism and to the handling of autism, which I think is something that probably is unheard of if we were, but much needed. So Joe, can I start with like autism awareness? It's growing in Malaysia. Can you share what are the key issues parents and public need to understand about autism spectrum?
Okay. So just to clarify, Eena, there's like a ton of cameras looking at us. Which one do you want us to look at, or look at all the cameras?
Actually, you can face our live, which is that orange phone, if you can have a look. Yeah, that is our live that is going on now. And then the rest are everyone's support system. So I'm very thankful that everyone is very supportive this morning. So
Great, thank you. I just didn't want to have like mata juling trying to look here and there, but like, first of all, thank you so much to Her World and to Dome and Milliam for doing this and Intermark Mall. When we have awareness campaigns such as this one, it really shines a light on autism, and with April being World Autism Month, April 2nd being World Autism Day, it's amazing to see Malaysia take such an interest, the Malaysian public sharing posts, talking about autism, and the greater the awareness is, the greater it becomes viral or it is trending, the more acceptance there will be. So I think coming back to what you were saying earlier, Eena, what we need as Malaysians really is to be more, continue to be more accepting, and that's what's unique about Malaysia. We are a diverse country, and in our diversity there is so much unity. And so to have more awareness on autism will bring a greater degree of acceptance. So in the aspects of what key issues or challenges is, I think there's a few things to clarify about autism. Autism is a spectrum. So there are children that are affected with autism a lot, and there are children that are affected very little, very mild, that's right. So symptoms of autism can show very early, can present itself extremely early. In the US, our parent company, Wisconsin EAP, actually can diagnose children even before 1 year old.
Wow.
Which is very early, right? But for us here in Malaysia, we do tend to still wait. And so that's where with the collaboration between Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, now that we know the red flag symptoms of autism, we as a community could actually pick up these symptoms, whether school kindergarten teachers, whether caregivers, whether parents, well-meaning grandparents, could actually pick up these red flags and alert it, not for a label, not for a diagnosis,
yes,
not for that, but to do something to help that child.
Yes.
That is the most important. So actually in conjunction with World Autism Day, we just launched a resource, an infographic that looks something like this, which is you can't prevent autism, but you can prevent some delays. You can be observant. So things like limiting screen time, engaging your child, and most importantly, monitoring key milestones. That's something that us as parents may not realize, how early, at 2 months old, a child starts to have their first eye contact, at 2 months. Right. So children with autism, if parents wait till 3 years old for them to first speak, based on this, kids start to make sounds at 6 months old. Okay. So most of us as parents are may not be aware. Some of us are aware, some of us may not be. So following those key milestones will make sure that we actually monitor and actually be able to engage our children to try and prevent it from getting really, really fast. You're trying to catch it really early, yeah.
So just for everyone there, I'm going to ask Jo to share with me her infographic, and it's going to be on herinspirasi.com. So parents out there, if you want to have a look at Jo's infographic, we're going to put it up on our website so you can have a quick look. And Jo is going to be here as well over the weekend. So yeah, but I want to ask Noraza, you know, as a mom of a child with autism, got it right this time, how important was it for you to make sure that Dome Cafe Malaysia got involved with autism awareness?
Okay, to start with, the Dome Cafe itself is a community cafe. Yeah. So we at Dome, we accept everyone. We don't judge them. Yeah. And that is very important. We accept every customer. Yeah. So as a mom, so I'm just confused. As a mom, I want to make sure that even though I have autistic child, son, I want him to enjoy life like other kids, going to the restaurant, going to anywhere. Yeah. So that's the reason why Dome get involved in this project, because Dome itself is a community cafe. We are very much concerned about awareness on autism, and we want to address this, and we want to take autism awareness to the next level. It's beyond the cafe, beyond drinking and eating. To take it to the next level, which is working with Jo and also Intermark to educate the community, to educate and to help the parents to understand autism better. And for us, this is best done through talks. So that's the reason why eventually since last year, Eena, we've been working together
Actually,
to launch Embrace Autism.
You know, last year when Embrace Autism was sort of the first year, I was involved in a very personal you know. So I've known Noraza, and actually I interviewed Joe in the April issue last year in support of autism awareness. So I kind of, you know, I may not have a child who's autistic.
You're an advocate.
But I don't even want to say I'm an advocate, but I'm a parent.
Yeah.
And I know that as a parent, if your child is struggling and how much it affects you as a parent is a big deal. So when I came last year, I was really happy that Embrace Autism focused on the parents, because at the end of the day, as much as we want to help the child, the carers are also the people that need the most support. Actually, I feel the most support are the parents that need it. You know, so for as a parent, I felt that it was important for me to play a part. That's all. Yeah. So, Cik Azhar,
Yeah.
you have been teaching autistic children for a while through the arts. How do you see the arts playing a big role in creating autism awareness?
Okay, before I say whatever question you asked just now, it's very interesting. In 1952, that's where I was born. In 1954, I can't speak yet. My father said, I don't know, my children, this little son, I was the first son. I thought he was deaf or something else, you know, cannot talk, very quiet, you know. And during that time, there is no such thing of autism, whatever word been out. And my father keep on trying to train me to talk. And at the age of 4 years old, I start to talk, but very slow, you know. And at the same time, I create something, artwork, painting, drawing on the ground, you know. And my father never thought that I was an autism. Since now I'm getting older age, I become talkative, you know. So my father is glad that the word autism that time don't appear. So I'm happy. I'm now, you know, what I'm doing as I'm an artist. And when 12 years ago, a few of the, we call OKU, a group of 12 people came, and 6 of them are autistic children. And at that time, I'm not sure what this is all about.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was in Melbourne 17 years. Yeah. I studied psychology children, you know, on art.
Okay, art therapy?
Art therapies, you know. It was so fun to see that. And that word, even autism, not yet. It was in 1979, long time ago. I pick up.
My age
I found it's very interesting to see, to understand when the children do their drawing. At the age, I read about their artwork and how they interpret their painting. It was fun to know that their figures, they only can see their body, the face and the leg. The body, they cannot see it. If you look at carefully, all the children, when they draw the face, eyes, and then suddenly the leg. What happened to the body? Okay. Because they don't see the body. So that I said to myself, this is children work. I have to accept it. Then come to the adult people, they start to do a naive painting. So they say they have a naive painter. So the naive painter look like children too. So I found that it's very interesting to find that the autistic children are very, very artistic people, I must say. Some of them surprise me. They are better than me, I must say that. They are outlined, confident what they're doing. So a few years ago, I should say 10 years ago, one of my students, Yuri, when the parent brought me to my studio, he was so talkative, very hyper. So what happened? I test on him because he showed me all the drawing, what he draw, and it all come from imagination. He is like a camera. His brain like a camera. I tell you, whatever he see, just one click, and he start to draw without looking at the object. He went to airport one time, and then he draw all the plane and everything in my studio. I said, look, I'm going to test on him this time. I'm going to use his brain, his eyes to draw. So I give him an object in front. Can he draw or not? because he never doing any object in front, drawing. So when he did the drawing of a flower and a vase, the father saw it and said, "What? I didn't realize that my son can draw the object in front, the reality." You know why? His brain is working.
Yeah.
His hand is working. His eyes direct the brain, say to the hand, "Hey hand, draw what I see." Life, object.
Joe, any explanation on that?
Sorry?
The brain, I mean, like, it's a magic.
It's a magic. That's why an artist at my age, when some who go to university, in art university, they have to draw live object. They're not supposed to copy from the photograph.
So the life object keeps you aware.
Aware. And then they also stimulate the brain in the same time to therapize the brain and the mind, the heart. And if I give them something which is rotten timber, they draw the rotten timber, look rotten. And I give them bread and brick. The brick is hard, rock, and the bread have to be soft. How do you differentiate between the bread and the brick? This is fantastic. And I said to them, look, you can eat the bread, you cannot bite the brick because it's hard. Draw that, how you do it. And he did it. Make sure the line is sharp and hard looking, and the bread looks soft and gentle line. Can you do that? Come from your heart, and your eyes, and your brain.
So do you think like through creating like paintings which you can now contribute to the whole project, is that one way you find that will create more awareness? Or do you think that it will help if more parents are open to sending their children
Yes.
for art therapy?
I will advise the parent, never give up. Because autistic people are very talented, very artistic, not only in painting and in music. They are very, very, very creative people. Believe me, a lot of my students get very successful in their life, and hopefully they can depend on the art for the rest of their life. And some of the paintings sell for 10,000 ringgit each piece, So what I want to do is now to awareness by the parent to make sure they believe in the children, give them a support, that whatever they create, you appreciate it. Do not throw it, even though from the beginning. You keep the pile of papers and paper. You know what happened from
the pile of our kids' papers, stacks of our
Yeah.
I have it on my wall and my desk at work.
You know why? When you stack it, then you can see the improvement.
Yeah.
I told them there's no eraser
Yeah.
allowed when they draw. When you erase the drawing, you lost the mistake they make. And I say, stay that way. If you mistake, do another one.
Yeah.
Keep doing another one. And by the end of 1 year, 2 years, you will see the improvement of that child. I'll give you an example. Last 8 weeks ago, I got this guy called Ahmad. He's a big size guy. He's only 22 years old. And he did the drawing. I gave him first a picture. Can you draw or not? He looked at it and he stared at it. He cannot draw it. So I told him, okay, draw your finger. The closest to you is your finger. So he put it like this. Draw your finger. My God. The doesn't matter how big the paper, he would draw as big as that's the paper. And he look at it carefully. And I study and train his brain and his character and his identity. It's very important, So one day, all the object I gave it to him, everything is big. Then suddenly I said to him, I'm giving you a picture of a girl, a lady reading a book.
So is this boy also an autistic child?
Yes.
So you focus on teaching kids with autism, or?
No, actually my class is all for adult people. But since then, Allah gave me this parents sending the children, I has accepted it in different character of people who are, some are very hyper, some very quiet, some are very talkative, like Fitri, all the time asking me, and putting his stomach, hit and his stomach, pa. I say to him, I joke to him, all kind of thing. I'm like a father to the children. I make a joke to them, I have fun with them, and I tease them, and they become so close to me. And sometimes it's happened that let me tears when a certain thing happening to them, you know. It's so much attached.
Okay, thank you Raja Azhar. I need to continue because kita ada 30 minit. So nanti Joe tak boleh cakap pula. Sorry ya. Nanti kita borak lagi. Yeah. So just quickly Joe, aside from the awareness, what can we do to further educate Malaysians about autism spectrum? I think that's such an important thing because I think people get information bits here and there. I mean, I know that some of them follow other parents of autistic children on Instagram and social media. But what else can we do? What else can we do to teach or educate or, you know, share with the Malaysian audience?
Okay, so I think just to thank you, Puan Noraza. I think that kind of comes back to what you were also talking a bit about, Encik Raja. I think the experience of those kind of individuals, which we hear a lot, like usually the movies are made about people with autism who are geniuses. Either they are spectacular in art or in music or in math. But if we come back to some facts, like scientific facts, only 10% of the autism spectrum are what we call savants. Okay. So the example that you gave, it's an amazing example, but the reality is there's only 10% of the autism population actually has those kinds of incredible skills where we have many kids who can play music better than us, do maths faster than us, draw better than us. But in general, autism affects communication, so the ability to talk. Some kids are non-verbal, so then they need to learn how to use we actually use devices. Thank God for the iPad screens and smartphones, which we can actually teach them to do communication effectively that way. Some children can talk, but maybe not sufficiently to hold conversations. And then because it's a spectrum, the children that can talk well, but may not know when is appropriate. Like what do you say and what do you just think? Like if someone's put on weight, you try not to say it, you just go, oh, nice to see you. Although all Malaysians, I was just going to say.
That one also
I know.
Across
We've all been to a family gathering where we were like, hey, you know, that's something you should think. But they don't have autism, okay? Let's not start diagnosing everyone. That doesn't mean it's autism. So generally, that's one of the struggles, language and communication. Secondly, it's social skills. So the ability to engage, interact with others, make friends, which makes it difficult at times to be in community settings. Like many parents will struggle with just trips to the barber. Normal things like going to the shopping mall, that could be challenging. Sometimes it's taking a different road. So those kind of restricted or inflexible behaviors, which is the third category, either repetitive behaviors or rigidities, like wanting a certain thing a certain way, go a certain road. So then because of the difficulty of communication, then that child may not be able to express to us what they want, what they need. Then it starts to become a behavior, it starts to become a tantrum, starts to become a meltdown. And that's more the reality of most families struggling with having a child with autism. So I think for parents, we just want all parents to know that there are very effective strategies that can work. But they're not quick fixes. There's no shortcut. Yeah, Puan Noraza, no. It's quite tedious. Yeah, it's quite hard work. It's quite intentional.
Yeah, and it takes discipline, I think, for
it
parents.
Does, yeah.
For parents, especially.
Yeah, for parents. Yeah, so parents have to be like the parents that apply these strategies of behavioral principles. They would have to prepare their child all the time. Okay, today we're going to go for this. Okay, we're going to leave in 5 minutes, okay? And then give them some predictability, foreshadowing. So parents have to use so many preventative strategies and teaching strategies to teach their child. So basically with every child with autism, you want to teach them skills and you want to reduce inappropriate. So some things you're trying to teach, some things you're trying to stop. So you want to teach them like how to draw, how to be creative, how to go to school. But you want to stop the stimming, for example, or the meltdowns or the tantrums or scratching, self-injurious behaviors. So we just had a workshop on this and we talk about it all the time because the behaviors that are very difficult to ignore are aggressive behaviors and self-injurious behaviors. So actually at EAP we have our internal KPI or goal that those have to be resolved within a week 2 weeks or 1 month. You have to try and
for the
stop.
children that can't
Yeah,
behave.
as early as possible. Because the older they get, the harder. When they are little, you can, like we have, like our typical kids can have big tantrums. When they're little, you can just scoop them up, carry them, you know. But once they're big, you you can't move them. Yeah. So if they just, even if they just stall in the mall, they don't want to move. Then you've got security guards coming. What are you doing? What's happening? And then that's where it also comes to the general public of understanding. Yeah, that this is, you know, don't just stop and stare. Like either help or just like. You know,
Share with me, Joe. What is the right reaction for the public if you are faced with a child having a tantrum, or a child that is being a little bit difficult, or having a, like, I'm not sure what it's called, but like a standoff where they just stand. So as the public, I know that there are many instances that people will just look and stare because maybe unintentional, tapi tak tahu apa nak buat, right? So, oh yeah. First thing, don't pull out your smartphone and video someone else's child having a breakdown or a meltdown. Okay, tak payah. So what is your advice on the best reaction a public member should give?
I mean, I was gonna ask Puan Noraza, what you being in that situation yourself, what would you, for me personally, it'd be like, don't stare. Like, I don't mind if a mom said like, you okay? Like, are you alright? You need some help? You either offer some help or just like, you know, all the best or something.
I have two experience in Malaysia and in overseas. Okay, this is, I'm coming to, you know, a bit of frustration with the Malaysia way. So my experience in Glasgow, Scotland, is we were out and my son frozen, and we were trying to like, it's cold, it was like what, 15, 14 degree at that point. We had to hurry up, we have to get into the cafe because it's getting cold. And he just like freeze, So, and within 10 minutes, I could remember, a police car, not a police car, a community car came and said like, is there anything that I can help you?
Exactly, offer help.
Because they have like CCTV, and we said like, oh, okay, we have an autistic child here, and he is like frozen, he's not moving, and what should we do? And they said like, there's a two option. First is to get him in the car, and then we will take you back to your hotel, and or you want to be in a cold, So they help us. We also have experience in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, in a mall, where I have to struggle, and he got frozen, and the security guard too came and stare, and I said like, is there any way that I can get a wheelchair just to get him moving? And you have to go to this floor and you have to pay like 25 ringgit, and it's so frustrating. You know, and I can't leave my son to get the wheelchair, and I can pay, but I cannot leave him to. I mean, like the awareness. It's back to the public awareness. Sometimes at this level, people talk about in any establishment, they want to talk about putting effort on awareness program, but it doesn't go to the security guard, and so these people don't know. And we have like foreign workers that not exposed to autism and say like, why your son is like that? He can walk. So those things.
So that means so the first step is awareness, and then would you say now we need more training? Training on all members, like, so people equip yourself on what to do.
Would you feel offended or upset if another mom comes to you and say, can I help you? Can I watch your son? Or can I go and pay this? Is that something you will be?
We experienced that when one of the boutique staff came out and said like, can you take your son into our boutique and to cool him down and stuff like that? No, because we know that this person is like know what's going on probably, and trying to help, like the policeman in Scotland, in Glasgow, you know.
So it'll be something that you are you know, you would welcome and appreciate for sure, right?
And if you don't want, you can just say no, thank you. And then the second thing people can just do is, okay, you know, take care. Like just something encouraging, like. And I think if they have little children, because little children will start like, hey, apa ni, what's happening, what? So then I find overseas especially, parents will just narrate, it's no big deal. He's just having a hard time with this, just like you have a hard time with this.
So not to isolate
correct,
it and make
yeah.
it be
Yeah.
different.
Absolutely.
And make it difficult.
Yeah.
And so to make it more inclusive.
Yes.
And
Just like you have, you know, you sometimes get upset when you're hungry, or you're tired, or you sometimes are inflexible. Like I tell that to my own daughter, like sometimes you get upset about this, he's just upset about that. It's not a big deal. Like, so then you're narrating it so the parent can also hear, oh, okay, you know, it just brings some encouragement, some assurance, and then let them let them be, right?
Yeah.
That's for the
I give you just quick one. I give you one example back to Dome. Yeah. When we want, I mean like Dome, we have 2 domes, one in Gleneagle and one in Subanjaya Medical. Yeah. So my son goes to Gleneagle for speech therapies. Yeah. So, but he needs to get some food first. So I will call Dome and say like, we are coming and we want roasted chicken. We'll be there within half an hour. So the Dome in Gleneagle will prepare the food, and just when we arrive, that is your seat, and this is your food.
Yeah.
Because they cannot, I mean like, he cannot wait. The waiting is like, can't.
So can I just say that Dome is very inclusive in any child that has, you know, special needs. So, yeah. So, parents out there, you know, if you are struggling to go out for a meal because you're not sure how to handle your child, just probably give one of the Dome cafes a call, and you probably get to go out and have a nice meal if you haven't been out for a nice meal. Yeah. So I'm going to quickly.
Can I say something? During my teaching, I play with psychology with the children. Some of them, they don't want to do the painting at all. Some are very quiet. So what I did is, I talked to them nicely. Where I say, if you don't want to paint, I'm going to talk to your mom. You're not coming back to this class. No. I want to paint. Okay, you better sit down and paint first. Let's show your artwork to your mom. You finish. I thought in the way that they like painting, but they want to play around. Say no, you must finish on time. Then you can go back. And then the other person, I say, excuse me. I say, where are you going to? Oh, I'm going to sit down there. No. You come back to your painting, finish the painting, and then your dad will come here and pick you up and give you something to eat. So all these things, I treat them, it's like my son too. I give them something, oh no, you cannot angry with them. Sometimes they get, oh. I say, okay, what is I say, something wrong here. What's wrong with that? I say, no, look me. I do touch a little bit and you finish it all. And that's the way I did to them. Because this is a psychology thing to passive them, you know.
So I think coming back then to that community inclusion, we talked about what general public can do, but this is what industries can do. So like Dome Restaurant is providing accommodations for a family with autism. Yep, you can pre-order your food, you can come in and have a good meal. Your class is making accommodations. Actually, that would be an amazing thing if the general Malaysian industries, we could start having that. We've gone to some of the organizations to talk about autism, you know, to bring awareness. So let's say if a family did come with a child with autism to the mall, like Intermark Mall, there would be some accommodations, there would be something that they can receive in shopping malls. We were actually talking about, and this is just an idea to throw out there, social stories, visuals for every hairdresser. So a hairdresser may have a child with autism come and they are already pre-equipped. Imagine if that was it'd be amazing if the dentist is pre-equipped how to handle, a doctor is pre-equipped how to handle. So then they can actually they can help. It just helps families' quality of life in such a significant way. It's just the everyday thing. So we're like PJ Live Arts, they have a relaxed performance on a Sunday. So we actually went a step further to suggest, what if we made a story of visuals of how a child with autism can be prepared to come and watch that show in your theatre, or a movie, like some some malls have done like dimmer lights, or no, turn on the lights and then they turn the music down. It's just accommodations, you know, for.
So if there's any establishment out there that if you feel you want to create an environment that is very accepting and inclusive for children with special needs or families that need a little bit of help, and you're not sure who to ask, maybe you can go and call Joe. Joe can suggest some things for you also. So, okay, to quickly, before we have to end the session, Noraza, what's happening this weekend? I think that's the key lah. Key tak boleh miss apa nak jadi this weekend ni.
Thank you, Eena. As you know, it's going to be our second year, and we are proud that we have two important partners for this year, Intermark Mall and also EAP. Yeah, and we are going to have like 8 topics on autism, and by 7 experts, and it's free. Most important is free. Yeah. And it will start at 10:30 on the 6th on both days, 6 and 7. Do you need me to read the topic? Okay, I
think you can find this on our Her World Facebook page. We have this, the list of speaker. Dome Cafe's Facebook page as well is carrying the speakers list. We have the list on our website as well, herinspirasi.com. So if you really want to know in detail what the speakers are talking about.
But it's basically, the topic that we have chosen is like a real topic that as a parent, we have to deal with. Like the clinical briefing by Joe, and how to manage financial, for example. Like, yeah, we face this problem, like how to do the financial for the family. And also some of the autistic family parents feel like the son or the child is not talking, so we have like Jennifer coming on board, and a censoring issue, and the most important is like how to prepare the child for the future. So that's when Raja Azhar will come, and also who else will come? Raja Azhar, Encik Adli. Okay, Encik Adli will tell you story about please don't give up, because there's a future for your son actually, and his topic is quite interesting. Like, if I can, why can't you? And we will also have diet. I believe in diet. Sorry, I believe in diet. Like, what would be what would be like suggestion?
Different topic already, Joe. That one we all talk on another topic.
So it's just a suggestion from Dr. Ng about probably the best diet for autistic child, and it's not only relevant to autistic child but any other children. Yeah.
So another thing is there is a silent auction of paintings by Cik Raja Azhar. That is here right now in the concourse of Intermark Mall. So if you are an art collector, I call upon you to please come down and support, because funds from the collection goes to the Hope Project. Am I right?
Yeah.
The Hope Project
is our non-profit of EAP.
Okay.
So that is to make services, world-class services for autism accessible to all.
Brilliant.
And a key purpose of the funding will actually go to making more video resources that will be in Bahasa, in Mandarin, in Tamil hopefully as well, so that the multi-language, so that the whole of Malaysia can really access this wherever you are. Everyone's got YouTube, everyone's got Facebook, everyone's got a smartphone.
Everyone got WhatsApp, can share.
Yeah, so parents can be equipped with the skills to help your child write in your own house straight away. So that's what we really want to do, to really reach the masses and to help more people.
But one more thing, for this 2 days event, it will be on live FB on Dome FB, right? So that, because we believe like it's not only to benefit people that attend the show, but people from Penang, from Johor, parents, they can actually watch it for every topic.
Yeah, but if you come down, then you can ask questions. But if you're far away, you comment and ask I'm sure the Dome team will be able to pass your message. But then again, come down because there's a lot to support here. We need to end our session, but I want to go around so everyone can have something. Yes. So everyone will get to say something to end. Maybe Cik Azhar wants to start first.
Okay. On Saturday, there will be a art auction, which is I donate one of my artwork, the wet series. All art collectors who know me, please come down and bid for this painting. I start this painting with only 18,000. The worth is over 30,000. Please do come on Saturday around 3 plus and grab this painting away.
Sorry, Cik Azhar, saya
Thank you so
tak
much.
boleh keluar duit pun.
So the
Foto.
whatever the money is not for me. This is for all for the hope. So please come. Yeah? Yep.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Do you have anything else to add before we finish our session today?
No, I think just to summarize what we talked about, I think the whole Embrace Autism really encapsulates awareness on autism, acceptance, so public acceptance, and making accommodations. So easy to remember. Acceptance, awareness, acceptance, and accommodations. And then we truly Malaysian can really show our how tolerance, our acceptance, and our love for each other. That's all we hope for this month. Yeah.
Noraza, anything else you want to add?
I really hope that the parents will come to the today's event because of the different topic that we are going to feature on the 2 days event. Yeah, please come.
So just to wrap it all up before we end, Intermark Mall this weekend there is various different speakers. If you are interested to meet Jo and ask Jo some questions, Jo actually is giving her talk on Saturday morning at 10:30. So Jo is going to be here, you know, and I think Jo is more than happy to share more about autism spectrum with parents. Like Noraza said, money is always an issue. I think I've heard it over and over again from, I mean, parents in general, we struggle also, but you know, parents with children and with special needs, I think need a little bit more help. So maybe the finance issue is something that you might be interested in. Go to our Facebook pages and you will get all the information there. So thank you for joining us. Yes.
There's one more. I would like to tell you that I'm giving a vase which 18 karat gold painted on the vase, you know, and this worth 4,800. All you have to do is donate 20 ringgit. We'll give you a number, lucky draw number. On Saturday, we will draw the number. Whoever win that, you can have it. I will show you one of us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have a look at the vase before we go.
I'm giving this vase away. Please come and support. Yeah? So, 20 ringgit is not much. If you give 50 ringgit, you got 2 tickets for it. It's all for the good cause.
Okay, so
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Noraza. Thank you, Jo. Thank you, Cik Azhar, for joining us. See you. Bye, guys.